everyone. This is Successful Women Talk, the #1 business show for women, and I'm Sheila Butler, and this is the place where you can learn more about working smarter, being productive, and reclaiming your time. We're taking a non-BS approach to business and work-life balance, if that's possible, right? Hey, on today's show, I have guest Jennifer Dutcher, and she's the owner and designer at Rock-A-Thigh Baby. She shares her story on how she started her business and how she's growing it as a busy mom of 4. I don't know how she does it. She has 4 girls, so she does stay busy. Hey, listen, in the background, sometimes you're going to hear this kind of odd noise, and that is actually birds chirping. Where she was, even though it was pretty cold there were quite a few birds in the area at the time of day, and you'll hear that every once in a while. But it's still a great, great interview, and I think you're going to get a lot from it. So listen, here's today's question. What would happen if you left no stones unturned? Let's jump in and find out. Hi everyone, Sheila Butler with Successful Women Talk. I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. Today on the show we have guest Jennifer Dutcher. Jennifer is the founder and creator of a really cool business called Rock-A-Thigh Baby, and it's basically cool thigh-high socks for your little ones. So we're going to jump right in. I want to say welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks.
I really appreciate it. I love mompreneurs, mom-based businesses, so most excited to have you. Hey, listen, why don't we start off with the very first question that I usually ask everyone, which is tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you got to where you are today.
Oh boy, how far back do you want me to go? Well, I was born in Minnesota, lived in Iowa, spent most of my life growing up here in Wisconsin. Where it's probably, I think it's like -4 degrees outside today. So
wow.
Yeah.
I know it's 73 here in Texas.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I still live in the wrong state. I'm serious. But yeah, I grew up here in the Midwest. I went to school at UW-Madison, earned my degree in interior design, which, even though I'm not working now as an interior designer, it's nice that I can apply a lot of those skills I learned in school to my present job. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I'm married to a great guy named Jamie. We have 4 wonderful daughters, ages 11, 10, 6, and 4. Their names are Jordan, Julia, Jocelyn, and JC. We're all J names. So, and how did I get to where I am today?
Well, what made you, I think I read a little bit about your story, but why don't we tell everybody else how you got the idea to actually start your business?
Okay. I was wearing my youngest daughter at the time, and she was all bundled up. It was a chilly spring Wisconsin evening. We went out for a walk, and I was wearing her in a baby carrier. And often what happens in carriers is their pantlings get hiked up, exposing their little ankles. So I noticed that her ankles were chilled. So I went home to get her dressed warmer. I didn't want to hassle with getting her all undressed just to put on a pair of cumbersome tights. So I grabbed her yarn tights. I snipped off the legs. I used rubber bands to put them up, and back out the door we went. And so that night, I felt bad after our walk. I checked her legs, I took off her socks, and there was like red welts on her legs from the rubber bands. So note to your moms, don't use rubber bands on your child. It wasn't my best idea. So that night I got online, I looked up extra long thigh socks and baby thigh highs, and nothing came up but leg warmers. I thought, well, those are cute, but why don't they make them with feet? It makes more sense to me to have them with feet. So I was frustrated at first. I couldn't find anything. But the more I looked, and my frustration turned into excitement. I thought, wow, I might have a really good idea here. And I got thinking, too, of all the time I'd waste searching for socks that were missing in action. Baby socks slip off or be pulled off within a few minutes of being put on the child. And I thought, you know what, a well-designed thigh-length sock would solve that problem, too, of missing socks. So I ran the idea, bounced the idea off of a few friends, and was like, yeah, this is a really good idea. And I thought, yeah, I think so. So I ran with it, and it took me actually 2 years. I came up with the idea in the spring of 2007. That fall, I registered the business name as Baby Thigh Highs, but I couldn't get it federally trademarked because the name Baby Thigh Highs was considered it was rejected. It came back, they said it was too generic and descriptive only. So I had to come up with a new name, but so we registered the business in 2007, October of. And then I came up with a new name, Rock-A-Thigh Baby. Kind of a funny story about that. I actually had some samples with the BTH for Baby Thigh High for that logo on some samples. And then when I got the rejection letter from government saying we can't get this name federally trademarked, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to come up with a new brand name even. I stayed up probably from like 10 o'clock at night until 4 in the morning thinking up of a new name. I wrote a couple dozen down, nothing was sticking, and I think at that point my husband actually literally came in and like threw me over his shoulder and took me to bed. He's like, you're coming to I couldn't, my mind, I couldn't shut it off. And so I just, I forgot about it. I just gave myself a break from thinking about it. And later that afternoon, I was not thinking about business names, and literally Rockify Baby just popped in my head. I'm like, thank God. I don't really keep from. It was crazy. I'm like, Rockify Baby, RTV works, And so yeah, that's how I came with the business name. And it took me 2 years to identify a U.S. manufacturer who could make our socks eco-friendly. And it took me a long time, too, to find startup funds, because especially back in 2008, 9, and now the economy is not the best. And so to try to find startup funds in this kind of economy was probably the largest challenge. So yeah, it took me about 2 years, but we finally launched the business on January 1st, 2010, and we just had our 3-year birthday, so we're doing well.
That's exciting. Now, so how long did it take you once you got started to actually become profitable as a business?
To be profitable. I'm trying to think. I think just a couple months.
Oh, good.
And right out of the gate, it's kind of funny, our first retailer, we didn't know, I didn't know what this looked like, what this was going to evolve to. And I thought we'd just be like a web-based company, sell people online. And 4 days open, we got an email from a retailer over in Oregon, state of Oregon, who said a customer came in requesting our socks and wanted to, order some. I'm like, okay, yes, sure. What's wholesale price? What's the wholesale price mean? And so right away there was a demand there for the product, and we're doing really well. My husband is my CFO. He's the money man. And he'll show me all his fancy charts and graphs and everything. I'm like, honey, bottom line, are we growing? He's like, yes. In fact,
you're like, are we going in the right direction? Yay.
Yeah. In fact, our most recent report, we had such an amazing January. We ended up doing actually more in this first month of January than almost twice as much as we did the whole first year.
Oh, that's exciting. That's really great news. So you actually, some people struggle with, am I going to go retail, especially online retail, or am I going to go wholesale? And I, of course, my years of experience are all in wholesale business. So you kind of were pushed in that direction. Are you doing much now in retail, or is the majority of your business actually wholesale?
We do. I think probably the majority is wholesale. We have a lot of retailers, even worldwide now. We're growing almost daily, weekly for sure. We do still do a lot of sales online.
That's great.
But thank you. But we are trying to phase ourselves out of that so we don't compete with our retailers. We eventually want to become just distributor only.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough area. Prior to owning Successful Women Talk and Me Giant, I had a company by the name of Aiden Gray Homes. So it was a wholesale furniture and decor business, really successful business. And in that arena, it's really tough to sell online. I mean, the retailers it's very negative to do that because they feel it's true competition. In the children's world, I found it interesting because more and more people do both. So it's really kind of interesting, the difference there.
It is, yeah. And I know some people have asked me, like, well, how did you know people starting out with their own business? Like, how did you know where to set the wholesale price or how to set your MSRP or retail price? I'm like, honestly, well, you just kind of look at what else is out there for, competition-wise and kind of go off of that. But we just really lucked out because it just so happened that we have a really great retail price. So when we started selling wholesale, a lot of boutique retailers, they want Keystone. I remember thinking, like, do you offer Keystone? Thinking, what's Keystone? Google, I didn't know what Keystone pricing even was. Well, that's half the retail price, which we were able to do. So there's not a whole lot of meat left on the bone, but it set up and then with the distributor pricing, when you sell to distributors, in fact, we just got a huge order for Taiwan. We have a distributor over there now. So they want better pricing than the wholesale pricing. So you have these different layers of this different pricing structure you have to be really mindful of. You have the retailer, you have the wholesale, and you have the distributor pricing under that. You still have to make enough money So.
Right, and for those people that are not familiar with that type of pricing, is the way she continues, to hopefully to make pricing is in volume. So you can, instead of selling one-offs to consumers, you're selling lower price but volume in wholesale. So that's kind of where I love wholesale business. I mean, it's not that I don't like retail, but I really love the wholesale side of it personally.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's fun to be able to move large volumes of product, and it's really fun.
Do you run your company out of your home?
We do. Yep. This is our wonderful warehouse. Half of our basement right now is unfinished, and it's our warehouse. And we actually are looking right now at different buildings. So we're thinking about we'll probably be moving within a year or two here. So we might actually have it on our at our new home, maybe just like a separate little warehouse building. We'll see. I thought it'd be fun too to have a storefront. That might be cool too. But we're quickly, growing right out of space here. We have some more products coming on, and so it's exciting.
That is exciting. Now let me ask you this. I noticed that you also are. Let me find this. You're doing something with the Beco brand.
Yeah, I figured my product is a great accessory for baby carriers, and this was, probably a year and a half ago now. I got the idea I'm just gonna contact several baby carrier companies to see if they would be interested in a partnership, and I Googled. I mean, thank goodness for the internet, right? It's crazy. So I Googled, baby carrier brand names, and I contacted everyone on the list, and Beco was the one that was most interested in and followed through with it. And after a phone call with her, they're based in Southern California, and lady who runs her name is Gabby. She was so cool, and she was all for this, and we collaborated on some designs, and she would send me some prints of their collection. I would, I got out my little yarn swatch kit here, and matched up the colors and came up with my own designs, and had them made. And so actually they're licensed Beco socks. They have the Beco logo on them at the ankles of the RTB, and then they coordinate with the carriers. And right now we're actually coming out with 5 new Beco thigh socks that coordinate with 5 of their new spring collections that will be out really soon. Actually, they're being made at the mill as I speak, so they're really cool. I'm really excited about the new collections.
Jennifer, to me, I found that fascinating, and I'm so glad you shared. You're so honest in this interview, anyways. Things you didn't know, you Googled it. I mean, that's how we live now, right? But I love that you reached out to try and partner with someone. So many people are afraid to ask. And maybe you were afraid, but you did it anyways. You stepped out there, and now that's leading to more business and a partnership that who knows what's going to come of that. I think that's awesome.
Thank you. Not only that, but she eventually opened up her international distribution channels to us. That's how we got this Taiwan distributor, and in UK, I mean, we brought in literally, several new distributors because of her. So it's been huge. Yeah.
That's terrific. And that's what, I think some people are afraid, wow, they're my competitor. If I reach out to them, that's going to seem strange. But I think you probably looked at it, which I do as well, look at it as it's a partnership. We have different customers and we can help each other. Just fascinating.
Yeah. And it's very symbiotic. I mean, our product is a great accessory for her carriers. And I wasn't afraid to reach out to them at all. I think, and that's one of my things when it comes to, I've learned this business is, and I would like to pass on to anyone who's interested, watching this, who is interested in being entrepreneurs, leave no stone unturned.
I love that.
Yeah, that is so true. And there's so many times, looking back these past 3 years, where I'm like, wow, what if I almost didn't send that email, but I did, and then it resulted in this wonderful partnership. I mean, there's just been so many times like that. So leave no stone unturned. You just never know.
Leave no stone unturned. You heard it from Jennifer. I totally agree. Hey, let's talk about this. Now, you briefly mentioned this, but you're a mom of 4. How does a busy mom of 4 also handle a busy business? How do you manage your work-life balance?
I do it okay.
You survive.
I survive, yeah. And I think if you speak with any work-at-home mom, that's the biggest challenge that they face too, is how do you balance motherhood with your job, or your housework with your job. And for me, I don't know what I would do without my cell phone. I have alarms set on here, so the alarm goes off. Okay, JC's bus is going to be here in a minute. Okay, in a minute. I mean, I have to. This really helps me keep on schedule. Otherwise, I tend to get lost in my work. You know, okay, it's 4:30 in the evening. Okay, I got to go make supper in a few minutes. Start making supper. Okay, do more. Go back to phone. Oh my gosh, it's 5:30 already. Like where the time goes. So this really helps keep me on task.
Yes.
Keeps the schedule. So I think having devising a schedule and a loose schedule. But I think that actually has helped me in ways, and I would, that's one of my suggestions.
I love that. I'm a heavy scheduler as well. Now, are you an iPhone or an Android?
It's an Android.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
it's an Android.
Are you a Google Gmail person or an Outlook person?
Outlook.
Yeah. But your heavy schedule, I like that too. And I think some people don't understand or maybe don't appreciate the importance of putting things on a schedule. It's huge. And another thing I learned from Michael Hyatt is pencil in your stuff for your kids as well. So your kids have a recital, put that in your schedule. Your kids have a swim meet, put that in your schedule. You want to have dinner with your mate, put that in your schedule because it's just as important. That helps us maintain that balance.
Yeah, and I know like during the summertime when they're home, I set my alarm on my phone where every day at 1 o'clock we have a dance party. It's a way for me to kind of reconnect with the girls, just kind of get goofy with them. So they love to dance around, and just to get me out of the chair and moving a little bit too. That's good
terrific.
too. So just kind of I want to build those memories too. And that was my biggest thing. Like I don't want the girls to grow up and be like, Mom, what we really wanted, we didn't, care about the vacations, or what we really wanted was more more time with you.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to resent the business ever. So I make a point now to make sure they know they come first. If they come downstairs, they want to talk to me, I always make a point, and I encourage people to do this too, like, stop what you're doing. Don't keep working. Like, turn away from the computer and talk to them. Make eye contact with them. Let them know that you are there for them. And that's just so important to me that I always want them to know that they come first before the business. And it does help too. We get them involved. We just got a couple large shipments in from our mill in North Carolina the other day, and they love to help put away the socks. I love it, like little gophers. Or they like to run orders out to the mailbox. So to get them kind of involved, and sometimes too I'll kind of humor them and like, girls, I'm coming, working on this design. What do you think about this color here? And sometimes I'll want their sincere, feedback. Sometimes I just want them to feel like, I'm engaging them in the design process. And sometimes they'll submit their own little designs to me. It's very cute. So I think just having them be involved with the business as much as they can gives them appreciation of it. And it makes them, happy about the business and not be resentful about it. So
I think that's great. And that makes it part of your family. So it's normal. It's not like, oh gosh, mommy has to go and work. And I love that you said you stop. It's like so many people think they can multitask and they really can't. I mean, science has proven you cannot really truly multitask. So for you to stop, take your fingers off the keyboard and look at them, I think that's huge.
Yeah, it's those little things that are important. And so that's how I try to balance being a mom and business.
I love it. Now let me ask you this. As far as business systems and operations, do you use, like for accounting software, do you use QuickBooks, or how do you keep up with customers, inventory, all of those types of things?
I don't know how I would do this business without my husband. He's amazing. Yeah, he actually, as my CFO, he does everything. We do have QuickBooks. So that's kind of his end of it. He manages the inventory as well too. He's got my inventory manager. So, but yeah, the QuickBooks is a wonderful program. I don't know how we would do it without it. So, and then that helps us manage retailers. We also have a database that my husband's a software engineer, so he came up with some kind of database thing for me to track retailers. When we contact them and when to follow up with them and stuff. So that's been really helpful too. So
I think that's huge because you know what, you probably know this, but the customers that you already have are your future. So it's much easier to keep a customer than to go and try and find a new one. So I think keeping up with them and keeping up with their orders, and just, with my other business, I say we were very successful because we had great products. We had good systems and processes, and we had great customer service. I think those three things are huge.
Yes. Yep. Definitely. Absolutely.
Well, terrific. Now, listen, if someone wanted to connect with you, where would you want to send them?
They can just email me at sales@rockifybaby.com, or they can even call me My phone number is 608-359-5623. And it's kind of cool. Like, I'm kind of embarrassed about the About Us story on the website. It's like a novel. It's so long. But I felt like there was so much information that I wanted, especially geared it more towards people who may be interested in entrepreneurship, kind of to encourage them and kind of give, tell them a little bit how I came up against several roadblocks. And you just need to, persevere. And I've had actually, most recently, a gentleman emailed me about 2 weeks ago wanting some advice. He's coming up with a product that's like the skateboard socks for boys, and but I gave him a bunch of advice. He was so grateful. I love that. I'm actually really passionate about that, helping. What advice I can offer, helping others that want to maybe have a product idea, or if I can help them, I'm happy to.
I love that. And I'm the same way, which is a part of the reason why I started this whole show in the first place, is because there are so many people out there that have already done it. No point in recreating the wheel. And what I have found that most people like yourself are willing to share. They just want to help.
Yeah, yep.
I love that. Well, Jennifer, this has been a terrific time with you. I appreciate you being honest about your business, telling us about your story, and I'm excited to see where you guys are going to go with Rock-A-Thigh Baby.
Thank you. So are we. Thanks for having me.
Well, keep us posted.
I'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Successful Women Talk. Listen, a lot of people ask me, Sheila, how did you build a business from 0 customers in revenue to thousands of customers and multi-7 figures within a few short years? Here's the secret sauce. We had great products, excellent customer service, and we leveraged, this is key, we leveraged our systems and processes. If you want to learn more about this or how to reclaim your time, join me over at www.successfulwomentalk.com, and I'll show you how to get the life, business, and customers you want. Thanks so much.